So welcome back to another FC24 video. Today we're talking about the things that won't be in this game. We've spoken about the things that will be in the game over the last couple of weeks, but now it's time to focus on the things that aren't. If you do enjoy the video, please leave a like for me and make sure you subscribe to get all the latest FC24 news. One big thing that won't be in FC24 is VAR. VAR is now a massive part of real life football, and FC24 will still not feature any type of VAR in the game. EA confirmed the new gameplay features for FC24, and of course VAR was not mentioned as one of the new features. Now some will say that VAR isn't necessary in the game, and EA has already spoken about the VAR in the game and sort of said the same thing. They said regarding VAR, it's a good question, but the answer is no. In a video game, what it would be adding to the experience isn't very important at this time. The system knows if a challenge is a foul or not, so we decided to focus on areas which we consider higher priority. That doesn't mean it won't arrive in the future, but there are no plans to include it in FIFA 21. Obviously, it's FC24 now, so it's been a couple of years and the plans have not changed. I guess the game sort of knows already whether it's an offside, if the ball crosses the line or not. You don't really need VAR. Another thing that won't be coming to FC24 once again this year is the Bayern Munich Allianz Stadium. It's not coming to the game because Konami has a partnership with Bayern Munich. Now this deal has been around for a couple of years and it recently got extended last year in June, which means that, it's going to be a while before we see the Allianz Arena back in a FIFA game. In the press release it says Konami extends their partnership with German club Bayern Munich. It started back in July 2019. And is extending into a long-term partnership, so it's going to be a couple of years. As the only football game with the inclusion of the Allianz Arena, the home of Bayern Munich and the fully scanned squads, eFootball brings the club's fans the detailed and in-depth experience of the club in the virtual world. I do miss the Allianz Arena. It's just not the same when you verse Bayern Munich and then you're versing them at a generic ground. Even if you wanted to do a crew mode with Bayern, you're playing in a generic ground, while the rest of the Bundesliga mostly has real stadiums. So it does hurt a little bit, but due to these deals, this is what happens. Another thing that won't be in FC24 is the English National League. This is the 5th division. If you win that league, you get promoted to the EFL League 2. EA did put on their website all the licenses that are going to be in the game, and there was the usual ones, of course, but there was no sign of the Vanarama National League. It probably would have been announced by now if it was going to be a feature in the game, since it probably would have been a pretty big deal for career mode people. I don't know if it's going to come in the future. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Another thing that won't be in FC24 is the Napoli license. You'll still get the players and the fake team, but you won't get the actual proper club licensing. So this is because Konami has a deal or a long-term partnership with Napoli. This started in 2021, but it's still continuing to this day. It is an exclusive license to eFootball, and from last season, eFootball was the only real-time football sim game to include an authentic, fully licensed recreation of Napoli. If you played FIFA 23, you would see that Napoli was generic. Now, it's been 2 years since they announced this deal, and I believe these deals are at least 3 years minimum. They're long-term partnerships, which usually means about 3 years and up. So it's very likely, and I think it's pretty much confirmed, that Napoli won't be returning as a fully licensed club in FC24 as well. Another thing that won't be in FC24 is the Lazio club license. At the moment in FIFA 23, Lazio is called Latium. Back in 2020, December 2020, Konami announces a partnership with Lazio. It doesn't tell us how long the partnership is going for, but usually it's got to be about 3-4 years. So it looks like this year won't be the year where Lazio and the license returns. Obviously, you're not going to get the kits, you're not going to get the club logo and all that, but you'll still get the players. Like I said, not sure how long this partnership is going to go for, but we haven't seen anything that tells us that this partnership has ended. And if you go on the eFootball website, you can see Lazio still a club listed as one of the licensed partners. For the last few years, Atalanta has not had a proper license in the FIFA games. They're called Bergamo Calcio at the moment, and that's basically because of the Konami deal. It looks like the deal is still intact because at the time in 2021, they announced a long-term exclusive partnership. It's only been about 2.5 years. A long-term partnership is usually 3 to 4 years. It says Konami has announced that the company has signed a long-term exclusive partnership with Atalanta. I don't think the stadium was in a FIFA game anyway, so we didn't really lose that. But you did lose the kits, the team name, the crests, and all the license stuff that you would expect. If you go on the eFootball website, you can still see Atalanta as one of the licensed partner clubs, so it looks like this deal hasn't ended yet. Another thing that won't be in FC24 is the official Roma license. At the moment in the game, Roma is called Roma FC, and you've got the generic kits and the club logo is generic as well, but you still get the players. Back in 2020, they announced this deal. It was a long-term exclusive partnership. If it was a 3-year deal, we might be seeing it come to an end or get renewed this year. If it's a 4-year deal, it will get renewed next year or it would get cancelled. I guess time will tell. At the moment, Roma is still one of the partner clubs with Konami, the officially licensed clubs, so nothing has changed at the moment. And of course, it does affect the team name, crest, and official kits, which are exclusive. All the leaks were claiming that this year was the year that online career mode was coming to FC24. Once the reveal happened, we saw that there was no online career mode. They said that it's something that they're looking to develop in the future, but it takes technology as well as looking deeper into what our community wants. Resources are limited. We can't make something that isn't wanted, but we're looking at getting the most of what people want. Looking across the broader game, we have Pro Clubs, which is very competitive, and Ultimate Team, which is quite competitive. Sometimes people come to career mode for a relax. We're aware that players want different things in different areas.